Welcome to the Breadwinner Energy Podcast. I'm your host, T. Daniels, wife, mama of two girls, multi-business owner, iced coffee connoisseur, and your official bad bitch mentor. Get ready to transform your boring business into a money-making machine by learning how to just be better at being you. No more playing by the rules. It's time to hone in on your gifts, turn up your energy, and make some serious cash. So grab your coffee, your headphones, or just cover your child's ears, and let's dive in. To another episode of the Breadwinner Energy Podcast. Today is officially our day. Today starts and kicks off our 3-day free live workshop, Get Clients on Repeat Without Social Media. If you have not grabbed your ticket, now is the time because there are no replays unless you upgrade to VIP. So go down below, click the Get Clients Now workshop, grab your spot. Join me later today at 12 p.m. CST. We'll be live today, tomorrow, and Wednesday. If you upgrade to VIP, you do get access to the replays. You also get to join me on Thursday this week for a live Q&A session. And I have special bonuses for everybody that joins this week. And you will want to be in this room. Like, I promise you, this is going to be insane. We have so many people signed up. I think this might be a record. I think this is a record for how many live attendees we have signed up for an event, which is so exciting. And also I have all the giddy energy and I just cannot wait to see all of you later today. So if you're ready to get clients on repeat without social media, you want my exact strategy, you want to know what is missing for you, what you need to put in place, and how to actually get them without social media, join me live later today. All right, let's get into today's episode. Today, I am talking to you guys about the thing or things that I stopped doing, which propelled my success. It helped me have a better mindset, a better business. It helped me make more money. And I have noticed these trends and patterns within my clients and within my community. And I really think it is something that you should do as well. If you are a coach, a businesswoman, and you are serious about your goals, you really, really want to make impact in the world, you want to change lives, you want to make a lot of money, I highly suggest doing this. And I actually gave this advice to a mastermind student a couple weeks ago. And it's just a conversation that I have to have on repeat with myself, with my clients. And I just truly, honestly think that it will serve so many of you here. And it's going to be hard. Like, I'm not going to lie to you. It will be very, very hard to do, but it's really important. There's going to be two pieces of what I did. One piece is online, what I did, and then the other piece is what I did in my home life, friends, family, whatever. So let's first start with the online piece. What I stopped doing was following and being friends with and accepting clients who carry certain traits. And I used to be guilty of this. This was me at one point in my career, where I was very highly focused on injustice, or I was very highly focused on what people were doing and what people are saying and what wasn't working. And I was also very focused on following accounts that were shitting essentially on the coaching industry. They were shitting on coaches and how the coaching industry is a scam and it doesn't work. And coaches out here are just selling people into packages for thousands and millions of dollars and people aren't getting results and whatever. And as I went through my rebrand this year, I started diving a little bit deeper into like my business and my clients and my results and what has worked for me and what has worked for my clients, and also looking at like what didn't work. And as I was having a clean look at this, because I took so much time off to like really, really get intentional about my time and my energy and my thoughts. Which honestly, if you can afford a mental break, even if it's just like a weekend, even if it's a week, if it's a month, whatever, if you can afford to take a mental break in your business to really step back from the business and step back from social media and clients and marketing, and even if you can take extended time off of social media, I highly, highly suggest it, because it will help you get really, really clear in your thoughts in your business and what needs to be cleaned up. Anyway, so as I was working through this year during that time off, and I didn't want to tell you guys until now because it's taken me some time. Like, this has developed and evolved over years, but it's really taken me quite a lot of time. And even after this extended break, it took me a lot of time to like really bear down on these boundaries. Anyway, so as I'm thinking through it, I'm going through all of my programs. I'm going through all of my clients. I'm going through all of the program promises I've had and the people that I've served and who got really, really big results and who didn't get results and who got like kind of results, but kind of not results, and who is still in my programs who are like seeing some results, but I really wish that they were bigger results. And I'm breaking all this down and I'm thinking, and then I'm thinking about myself and what I did when I hit my first six-figure year and multi-six-figure year. And I was in a coaching program. I paid $10K for this program back in 2021. At the beginning of 2021, I joined this program. I went all in. I sat in every single coaching call. I got coaching. I asked for feedback. I was vulnerable. I cried. I was frustrated. And then I left and I would implement the coaching that was given. And that year I hit my first six-figure year in my business. I launched my first ever group coaching program. And there was also like 40 or 50 other women in this group. And there were some women who got lots of results. There were some women who got really big results. There were some women who got okay results. And then there was also women who got no results. And as I was thinking through this, I was thinking about, well, why didn't these other women get results, but me and some of my other peers did? And we were in the category of like exceeding the program. Like me and a couple other students, we had like the best results of the program. And then there was the people in the middle who got like, again, some results. What did they do or what did they not do? And then the people who didn't get results at all, what did they do and not do? And not once did it cross my mind that the coach or the program was the problem. Because for that to be true, that would mean that every single student didn't get a result because the coach, the coaching, or the program. But that wasn't the case. See, there was a group of 45 to 50 women where a handful got big results, a handful got some results, and a handful got no results. So I found this really interesting. And then I would go, when I looked at my programs, I thought the same thing. All of the clients that got really, really big results showed up to most, if not all, of coaching calls, took really big risks, had a cleaner, better mindset, took lots of action. The students who got some results, showed up to coaching calls, implemented sometimes, were pretty inconsistent, and had the hardest time with their thoughts. And the students who got no results either did not show up, barely showed up, they were not coachable, they were not implementing the work, and they were not clear and clean in their thoughts and actions. And then when I compared all of my programs and compared all of the programs that I've ever been in, the patterns were the same across the board. There was always a group that got results, really big results, and you would always see them on every call. They would ask really good questions. They would have clean thoughts or clean-ish thoughts, or they would ask how to clean up their thoughts. And then when you got off that call, they were always taking massive action. And then there was always the group that would come to the calls and maybe sit in the back, and they wouldn't ask for coaching, or even if they did, you could tell that their thoughts were really, really running the show. And then they would take some action, but it was very inconsistent. And when they would come week after week, sometimes it was even the same problems they were having, and they were never doing anything to change them. And then there was the group of people that you saw maybe once a month or once every couple months show up. And those were the people who were always complaining about not getting results. And while I think that this is more of an experience across the board for coaches and for students, there's also going to be someone who listens to this who's like, well, that's not true. I went to a program and it was shit and I never saw the coach. Totally understand. I've been in programs like that too, where I literally never saw the coach. And I have had to decide that as a business owner, as a CEO, as the leader of my brand and my business and my company, it is my job to be very, very clean in my thoughts. It is my job to clean up my thoughts. It is my job to show up. It is my job to invest. It is my job to take risks. And it is my job to do the fucking work. And if I show up and I invest my time and my energy and my money and I work on having clean thoughts and I also do the work that's required outside of coaching, I always get results, even if the coach doesn't show up. When I think back to the program that I was in and the coach did not show up and I saw her, I think, once in 6 months, I could have looked at that program and said, this program was shit. The coach didn't show up. She didn't keep her promises and I got nothing out of it. Or I could think to myself, you know what? That wasn't probably my best investment. I've had better. However, I still paid to be here, still signed a contract to be here. Is it morally right for a coach to promise you something and then require that you have to pay for it and stay in it? No. But at the end of the day, thinking about that over and over and over again and dwelling on it and then taking it to social media and then living my whole business through that is not helpful. It's not helpful to me. It's not helpful to my clients. It doesn't get me bigger results. It doesn't get my clients bigger results. And as the CEO and the leader of my brand and my business, that is not the path I want to go down. I want to get a result. I want to gain something. I met a lot of awesome fucking people in that group who are still friends with me today, who still talk to me on a regular basis, follow me on social media, and listen to this podcast. That is a win. Meeting new, incredible people from a group that I was in is a win. Learning about how to invest better or to vet the client or vet the coaches that I'm willing to hire, I could have done a better job about that. I could have asked better questions before I joined the program. There's a lot of things that I could have worked on and changed had I looked at it from a different lens. But all in all, I'm not going to say the coaching industry is bad. Coaching is bad. Coaches are bad. Because at the end of the day, I don't actually believe that. I think that coaching is one of the most incredible things that you can get for yourself. I think that I have grown as a human, as a mother, as a leader, as a business owner, as a wife from coaching. I have a marriage coach. I have a business coach. I have an individual coach for life. I have so many coaches that I have worked with and have currently in my life and business that have truly changed my life. And so following people in the online space who are constantly the victim, who are constantly complaining about their life or their circumstances or their past or complaining about men or people or coaches, like I cannot do it. I don't have the energy for it. And I have noticed over this year specifically that I should not have let my boundaries down to take on certain clients that have this mentality. And from a coach perspective, not only letting them into a room with other clients who have better, cleaner thoughts, but from a coaching perspective of knowing that these people are living in victim mentality right now. And I cannot change that for them. And I'm not willing to change that for them. And even if they show up and get coaching, are they going to be receptive to the level of coaching that I'm giving? Probably not. Are they going to show up consistently? Probably not. Are they going to do the work outside of coaching it's required to get a result? Probably not. And those are the same keyboard warriors that are going to Reddit and online groups and other networks and dragging coaches' names in the fucking mud. And I just don't have the energy and the space for it. And I am a firm believer that who you surround yourself with, friends, family, business, work groups, employees, coworkers, whatever, is going to impact the way that you show up in your life. It's going to impact your business. It's going to impact the life that you live, and it's going to impact the thoughts that you have. And if you have a circle of people and you're spending all this time on social media around people who are so incredibly negative all the time about coaching and the space and it's a scam and it's not working for them, immediately what I think about is I don't want any of these types of people in my energy. I don't want them in my coaching containers. I don't want to be friends with them. I don't want to be in networks with them because that is not the type of clean energy and thinking that I want to carry throughout my business, throughout my team, throughout with my clients. And there was a point where I was surrounding myself with that so much, with those types of people so much, that it was truly doing so much damage to me as a coach, as a leader, as a human. It made me almost hate the industry. And then it was not doing a service to my clients because I was coming in with really unbiased, ugly thoughts into my coaching containers. And so I just want to say that if you are this person that is spewing negativity around the industry, first and foremost, I truly, genuinely think that you should seek therapy. Like I really, really do. And I mean that from like a really clean place of that is coming from somewhere really deep within you. And it makes it really hard to be a business owner. It makes it really hard to be a good thought leader. It makes it really hard to run a team or to even be a coach when that is the negativity that you are spewing. And then also, if you are surrounding yourself with this or you feel like you've become engulfed in it, I want you to take time, extensive time off of social media. I want you to go outside, go for a walk, get fresh air, travel, take a trip, go to the pumpkin patch, do something. And I want you to turn your work brain off. I want you to turn your marketer, coach, social media brain off. I want you to get off of social media. And then when you come back, I want you to clean that shit up. I want you to unfollow. I want you to block the people who bring in that negative ass energy. You're not going to change them. And it's not your job and it's not your responsibility, which leads me to part 2. the friends and the family that you surround yourself with. It's really easy to block people online that you met online who have negative ass dirty energy, and it's quite another to block people that you know in real life. And in coaching and every container that I have, from Offer Bootcamp to Coach School to Mastermind, we talk extensively about people pleasing, about friends and family, about what other people think about you. And for a lot of people, they have unsupportive family members, maybe even unsupportive partners, unsupportive parents, unsupportive siblings, cousins, aunts, uncles, whatever. And when I'm coaching around this, the one thing that I did, and again, not everyone can do, but I left my hometown when I was 18. Well, I left when I was 17, and I moved to a close by town, and I went to college, and then I dropped out. And then a year later, I moved 2 hours away from my hometown where I live now. I live like 2.5 hours away from my hometown. And that was the greatest decision I ever made, because number one is I grew up in a small town, about 1,000 or less people, predominantly white, very, very biased. And when you live in a small town and everybody knows everybody, the width of how much you can think and feel for yourself is very limited, because you are in an environment that is very closed-minded, right? Like everyone has essentially the same thoughts and beliefs and upbringings, so to speak. And so if you do anything outside of that norm, you're almost like shunned. Where if you're to move out further from that space into like a bigger city where I live now, where I don't know hardly anyone in this town or city, and I've lived here for years and I love it that way. And I love to be able to go to the store or go in public and I don't know a single person and they don't know me either. It allows you to expand your thoughts and your views on life, and it allows you to see life from different perspectives. And when I grew up with my family, and again, this is no like shame to my parents or family members, because they know what they know and they haven't been willing to change their views, but I am, right? And so when I left my hometown, because with my upbringing, my parents grew up, poor. I would say poor. And then also like very much penny pinching. And then we never took trips, vacations. We hardly ate out. Like we didn't have money for anything extra. Me and my mom lived in a trailer. She was a single mother. Now though, my parents have saved a lot of money to build a very nice home and have land, and they make good money now, right? They don't make quite as much as I do, but they make good money they're in the six figures. But they don't travel. They don't go anywhere. They don't do anything with that money. It just sits in accounts because they hoard it and they, penny pinch. And again, that's that small town mentality. And there's also nothing wrong with saving your money, right? It's like this twofold. But at the same time, when you grow up in those environments, you're told that like making a lot of money makes you a bad person. Making a lot of money means that you're rude and you're greedy and you think you're better than people. And those thoughts then are embedded into your brain as a woman, as a business owner, that when you go out into the online space and you see other women boldly speaking about money and lots of money and making lots of money, you're like, oh, wow, she's bragging, right? Because that's what you learned. Or you're like, wow, she is like way too much. She is too bold. She is too in your face. She's a mother. She shouldn't look like that. She shouldn't dress like that. She shouldn't talk like that. Oh my God, she's cussing. Like it's this whole spiral. But again, that's because of your perception. And that's not fair to project that onto other people in the online space. So one of the best things that I did was move away and create distance between me and my family. And I love my family and I see them and talk to them quite often. But I was on the phone with my family members last night, and I called like I do my normal call. My grandpa had like a routine surgery situation. So I was calling and checking in and talking to them, and the conversation of politics was brought up. And I don't bring politics into my business and my brand, and I'm not going to do it today. And I very rarely talk about it ever. However, as we were talking about politics and life and money and business and all the things, this conversation brought me to tears. I was so frustrated. And I was frustrated because my grandmother, who grew up in this town, who's lived in this town her entire life, who's never ventured out, who only gets all of her information from the news or the TV, who is extremely biased, but also the first to ever like tell someone what they should be doing with their life when she's the last person, is not willing to be open-minded. She's just very unopen-minded. My mother is so much better at being open-minded, thank God. Both my parents. But she is just not open-minded, and it frustrates me. And so I've kept that space and distance because it is so frustrating. And it's also frustrating because because she is essentially like the victim in her life. Like she's always the victim. And it's exhausting to be around someone who is always the victim. They're not willing to hear other perceptions. They're very close-minded. And so it brought me to tears because I was so frustrated that she's not even willing to hear anyone else's story. But then after I got off the phone, it got me thinking that this is why I left. And this is why I'm not willing to go back. And this is why I'm in such understanding of why my other family's members have moved even out of state, why they don't come back, is because when you surround yourself with certain people and their thoughts and their limiting beliefs and their small mindsets, that is the capacity of which you can grow. And if you are not willing to get into bigger spaces, if you're not willing to get out of your comfort zone for a very long time, if you're not willing to hear other thoughts and opinions, and you're not willing to even try them on, you're going to stay in this small ass box in space. And so as I was thinking through this has been the number one thing that has allowed me to create success in my own life, regardless of my upbringing, regardless of being poor, regardless of dropping out of college, regardless of wrecking my credit by 19 and having a kid at 23, and then being a single mom and living on WIC, to now having 2 children, a multi-6-figure business, and being the breadwinner of my family as a woman. This is what has changed for me, is I've been willing to be open-minded, to leave my hometown, to create new spaces, to get around other people, to be around people who are proof of possibility for the life that I want to live, and also blocking the people in the online space who continuously want to create and spread negativity. And honestly, they're just as bad as the people out here who are actually scamming people. Every industry has scammers, doctors, every industry, right? Every industry has people who are bad and people who are good. They have people who scam. They have people who are just amazing. I think of the construction industry, right? There's been quite a lot of people in the construction industry that have been shit on or bought a new home and the builder was absolutely terrible. But I've also heard equal amount of stories about people who have hired construction workers, people to put in their pool, people to build their houses. And they're like, this was the best experience I've ever had. It has absolutely nothing to do with the industry. It has absolutely everything to do with the person that you are hiring and then the person receiving that and their expectations, right? And so if you know that you want to do big things in this life, and if you probably do, if you're listening to this, my suggestion is to create space between you and the people who are feeding you negative thoughts and energies, to take space from social media, to take space from the people online who are spewing the negativity, again, who are just as bad as the people who are scamming, because you're just perpetuating the negativity instead of trying to do better for the industry and trying to be proof of possibility for the industry. And if you're the client who never shows up, never gets coaching, or never implements it, you're not willing to take big risks, you're not willing to invest your time and your energy, you're not willing to truly be a business owner, stop talking about other people in the industry who are. Okay. I say this with so much love, but I think that this is such an episode that needed to be recorded on so many different levels, but also it's truly what has changed my life. And it has allowed me to create ultimate peace. Does this mean that there are lots of family members I have zero relationships with? Yeah, it does. But I'm also at peace with that, because being blood related to someone does not equal family. It does not equal love, and it doesn't equal support. And honestly, family bloodline has been more unsupportive and hurtful than people I have never met in real life who are just supporters online. And I want you to think about that. There are people out here who will get you and support you and love you and cheer you on, and they're probably not related to you. As always, I'm so incredibly grateful that you are on here, that you're listening, that you tune in with me every single week, that you have been on these wild rides and journeys with me. And if you want to see me in real life, Zoom, and you want to hear me coach, and you want to be a part of this journey and this community, and you want to find a coach that really cares about the industry and cares about you as a human, but also you as a business owner, who's willing to get in the mud with you and to really help you understand what you're missing or lacking in your business or life, come over to the Get Clients on Repeat workshop, 3 days long. We start later today. And as always, thank you so much for being here. I truly love you guys.